Hi, I'm Libby and this is Ridge, and we are here to teach you a little bit about baking today. We are going to start with a really easy, fun, after school, totally doable recipe. It's called Skillet Flatbread. It's a very, very simple recipe with only 5 ingredients, and we'll get to mixing right now. So first, we're gonna start off with some flour. I just have regular all-purpose flour right here, and you're gonna wanna measure out 3 cups. So in order to measure out a cup, I'm gonna do the first one, Ridge, and then I'll have you take over for me. In order to measure out your flour, we're gonna fluff, sprinkle, and sweep. So what you see me doing here is fluffing up the flour. Once I have nice light flour, I'm gonna gently sprinkle it into my 1 cup measuring cup. And it might take a few spoonfuls, that's okay.
You gotta make a good tower.
That's right, you have to make a tower or a mountain of flour over the top. And then I like to just flip my spoon right over and level it off. Cup number 1 goes into our bowl. All right, Mr. Ridge.
I'm gonna level.
Go ahead, fluff it up. Big, nice big scoops and shake it in nice and gently. Perfect. All right, get another big scoop. Go right here where there's lots of flour. Yeah, there you go. Shake that in there. Flour is really easy to clean up if you make a mess. You need to do a little bit more. There's some empty spaces. Flour is really easy to clean up. All you have to do is take a nice clean rag, or you can even vacuum it up. Just don't get it wet. Okay.
I can do this.
Let's go one more pass. Cup number 2 is leveled off and ready to go in. I'm gonna fluff for you just because we've got a lot of flour here on the edges.
I can do that.
Okay. All right, fluff up that flour. Good job. Go ahead and take a nice big scoop. There you go. Sprinkle it in. At least 1 more, maybe 2. Remember to shake it. There we go. Shake, 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 shake. Perfect. 1 more. There's some empty spaces we gotta fill up. Shake, 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 shake. Very nice. Now we're gonna turn it over. And we're gonna just level that right off. Cup number 3 is in. Now, if you cleaned your countertops and you washed your hands really well before we started, you're gonna be able to just take this flour, gather it up, and it can go right back in your bowl. If you forgot to wipe down your countertops, get rid of that flour, but save everything that's in that bowl. All right, so we've got our 3 cups of flour. We are now gonna add 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I have some baking powder here and a teaspoon measuring spoon. And I'm just gonna scoop a nice big scoopful and then level it off.
What is it?
1 goes in. This is baking powder. This is what's gonna make our little flatbreads get nice and puffy when we cook them. And 2. And now we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt. So I've got my same 1 teaspoon here. We're gonna scoop and overfill, level it off, add that in. Now I need to move to a 1/2 teaspoon where I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna scoop and overfill and then level it off. We're gonna mix those ingredients together. You can absolutely do that. While Ridge is mixing ingredients together, whoopsies. That's okay, mix gently. While Ridge is mixing ingredients together, I am going to add in 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and then we're gonna add in some ice cold water. So I've got my olive oil here, and I'm just gonna really gently measure this over top of my bowl. When I get right to the point where it's gonna overflow, I'm gonna pour it in. Right to the point where it's gonna overflow, pour that in. And this is number 3 right there. And now we're going to use 1 cup of ice cold water. So what I like to do to make sure that my water is nice and cold is I like to put some ice in my measuring cup, fill it up a little bit above 1 cup, so almost to 2, and then let that ice just melt. As that ice is melting, I'm gonna pour out whatever extra I have in my cup so that I have really, really nice cold water and I'm right at that 1 cup mark. So Ridge, I'm gonna pour this in and you're gonna start stirring. Go ahead. Very nice.
Ice cold water.
Ice cold water. It's important that it's cold.
Mama,
Yeah.
you're making me get thirsty.
I'm making you thirsty talking about ice cold water. We're big fans of water here in Arizona. It's kind of a must. So we're gonna mix this into sort of a shaggy dough. What we're gonna do from here is we are going to take our dough and we're just gonna start kind of gathering it together. It's almost like a little bit of kneading right in the bowl. Our hands are gonna get messy, but that's okay. We're just trying to combine this dough so that everything is one cohesive ball. At this point, the dough should not really be super sticky. I have a little bit sticking to my hands, but nothing that's too major. From here, I'm gonna take this out of my bowl and I'm gonna just continue to do a little bit of kneading. Go ahead, do you wanna try? You're gonna fold it and sort of push it and then turn it. Good job. See, it doesn't feel bad at all, does it, Ridge? Good job. Okay, that's good. We don't need to do a whole lot of kneading because this is not a yeasted bread recipe, so we don't have to get the gluten to be really super strong. Basically what we want is just to be able to let this sit for a few minutes and come together. So the flour and the water are going to continue to come together. They are going to sort of hydrate this little ball of dough a little bit more. It's gonna make it easier to work with when we get to the next portion, which is frying these up. Okay, we are back and we are ready to get these cooked up. My dough has been sitting for about 10 minutes. We are going to divide this into 10 to 12 equal pieces. We're gonna do that by using a dough scraper. You could also use a butter knife if you have one, anything that you have to divide your dough. And we're gonna start off by dividing our dough in half. So I'm gonna have 2 equal halves. I'm gonna set one half to the side and I'm gonna just continue going half, half, and half. All right.
Mom, can I try?
Absolutely. I want you to just put it right in the middle. Yep, and divide. Good job. All right, same with this one, right in the middle and push down. So I have 4 pieces out of this side. I'm gonna kind of flatten them out and see what it looks like to see if we need to take any more out of some of these bigger pieces. So I like to just flatten them out a little bit and see about how they look. These actually are looking pretty good and I might end up doing 8 instead of 10 because we like our flatbreads to be a little bit bigger. All right, these are actually looking good. So from here, you would cut up your other half, but we're gonna go ahead and get started on these first because they do take a few minutes to cook on your skillet. So while you're shaping them, I like to just put a tiny little bit of olive oil down. You can brush that out if you'd like, but it's not required. I'm gonna take one of my little pieces of dough and I'm going to dredge it in flour, which basically means I'm just covering the whole thing in flour. And then I'm gonna just use my hands to flatten this out into an oval. Does not have to be perfect, doesn't have to be a beautiful circle. It's gonna have rough edges and that's okay. Before I fry this up, I'm gonna set it off to the side. Would you like to do one? No? What's up?
I didn't know you can put oil on that.
Yeah, you can. So you can put oil right on the griddle. You do this one, Ridge, and I'm gonna work on this one.
Can you put it in?
It's already been put in. It already has the flour on it. If you want your little flatbreads to be more of a perfect circle, you can start off with sort of a round shape by gathering up the edges, sort of like the beginning of a dinner roll. We're gonna toss that in flour, and then you're gonna put your little seam side down, and you're gonna start pressing it out. All right, so go ahead and start pressing it out. This may take a few minutes. The flour likes to sort of stick to the outside. It makes it a little hard to get it to pull out, which is good because you don't want to tear the strands of gluten that we've created. So basically what's happening here is because we did a little bit of mixing and kneading, our water and flour came together to create gluten. And gluten is a strong, stretchy set of proteins that helps bread dough keep its shape. But it also makes it hard for shaping. Let's not smack it. We don't want to smack it. We want to be nice and gentle to our dough, so we're just patting it out. So what you want to do, if your dough is stretching out and then shrinking back in, you want to just give it a moment to relax. You can just let your dough relax and then come back to it. So I'm going to shape this one up into the little round. I'm going to put it in some flour, and I'm going to start pressing it out. And you can see exactly what I mean. When I press this out, you can actually see it shrinking back up, and that's that gluten at work. That's looking really good, Ridge. I wanted to show you just how thin you really need to make these in order for them to cook properly. So you really want to make sure that these are as thin as possible. You can use your hands, you can use a rolling pin if you need to, but we are talking like almost see-through thin, just very, very, very thin. They'll cook up faster and they'll be nice and bubbly and beautiful.